Next up is Mark Johns of Doomlaser.
Hello, everyone. Let me adjust this. So, I don't know if any of you know me, but I made this game called Shit Game, and it's just really shitty. So I decided that might qualify me to answer an age-old question in the game community. Can games be art? So it's pretty easy to answer. The answer is yes. And it should be obvious, like, art is something that people do, and the medium is irrelevant. And if you really look at what a game is, you're crafting a possibility space for the player, and you control what the consequences of the player's actions are. And if you look at a game as just that, the potential of the medium should be pretty obvious. Like there's so much that can be done. I don't know if any of you are familiar with Roger Ebert's position on games as art, but I had the opportunity to talk to him about this a couple of years ago, and I used the technique, I guess. I asked him, I posed the question, how easy do you think it would be to convince like classical 19th century theater critic that the pornographic Nickelodeons in Manhattan were using a medium that had the potential for high art? And he was like, oh, well, that's a good argument. And then he just continued to write articles about how games can't be high art for specious reasons. But, you know, that's just led me to see that really games now are in the same position that comics and other media were in the 70s and 60s, sort of like in a cultural ghetto, and it's just going to take time for people like Ebert to die off. And then everyone who's been raised with games, you know, in their lives growing up, are going to, you know, have no objection to, like, having sort of artistic, insightful experiences with games. And people that have grown up with them will be the ones that create really exciting, new, and interesting games. And we're getting closer. Heather Kelly and Phil Fish did a symposium at Carnegie Mellon last year in their art department called The Art of Play, which was great. And there were some great talks from Jason Rohrer and Randy Smith. And then just a couple weeks ago, the New York Times Art section was covering a new media gallery exhibition that had a game from Mark Essen in it. Mark Essen did Fly Wrench. I don't know if you guys have played that. But the quote from the New York Times was, it was a video game of his own design, Fly Wrench, yet it was something more. So now you can see that the pretentious art, you know, movement is moving towards games. So we're in a really exciting place now, and the next 10 or 20 years, I think we're going to see some exciting stuff, more exciting than Shit Game even. So thank you guys.